everyone. How are you doing? I hope everything is fine. Everything is great. You all are showing hard work and watching all the videos, all the lectures very carefully. Students, as you know that we are reading the chapter Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom. So before we start our today's session, I really want to share my views with you. So students, what exactly you are thinking whenever you are reading any legendary story, any heroic story of any person, any real incident? So what I am thinking, it's our situation, it's our own surroundings that makes us a hero. It's our own hard work. Nobody is born like a hero. If you are showing your enthusiasm, your zeal, your zest, your hard work, everybody can become a hero. It's your own possession, it's your own passion that can make you a hero. It's in your hand what exactly you want to become further in your future. If you will show hard work, if you will show your zeal, you surely will become a hero. You will achieve your dreams. But if you will just leisurely or indolently pass your time, the time that you have now, so what will happen in next? What will happen in future? What is going to happen? So what will be the result of this? You will come to know. Students, life always comes in chapter. You surely have noticed while reading a book or a storybook or a novel, it usually has so many chapters 1, 2, 3, or 10 maybe. But life has also binded in chapters. One chapter finished, then next chapter is going to start. So, how we can make our own life story readable to others when exactly. So guys, if you are ready to dedicate your life for any single idea, if you are passionate about your goals, about your dreams, success will come automatically to you. Even God is always helping us if you are honest, if you have wisdom, if you have generosity. So come on, let's start our today's lecture. So today we have to start from our page number 19. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters, and troop carriers roared in perfect formation over the Union buildings. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. Only moments before, the highest generals of South African Defence Force and police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before they would not have saluted but arrested me. Finally, a chevron of Impala jets left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue and gold of the new South African flag. So here Mandela is describing that after my speech, I saw that it was a spectacular scene that South African jets and helicopters and troop carriers, they rode and they covered the whole sky, and they made a formation over the Union building. So students, you might have noticed, you might have seen during the Republic Day or Independence Day, we also have the same kind of act. So what exactly they are, why are doing this? So let's find out. And it was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force. So it was a fine and precise display of military force, that what kind of force you have in your country. And even it was a demonstration of military's loyalty towards the government, towards the elected people. And this is the way to show their loyalty towards the democratic people, the loyalty to show to the government that was freely and fairly elected. And then afterward he said, what was the scene? The highest general of South African Defence Force and police, they all came, and their chests were bedecked, their chests were decorated beautifully with ribbons and medals they have, and they came and saluted me when I was taking the pledge. And they also took the pledge to show loyalty. And I really recollecting at that moment when I saw they all were saluting me, I recollect all those memories when the same general, same all the people, they arrested me few years back. So at that moment he was said that I was not unmindful of the fact. Then next, finally a chevron of Impala jets. They left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue, and gold of the new South African flag. So, with the help of chevron Impala jets, with the help of the jets in the sky, the jets made a V shape and they left a trail of smoke, and the color of the smoke was black, red, green, blue, and gold, and it was the same color of the South African flag. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems. That it was the time to play the national anthem, and they played the two national anthems. And the vision of white singing Nkosi Sikelele, I Africa, and the blacks they sang Die Stem. It was the old anthem of the Republic. It was the first day after the decades that they played these two national anthems together. Although that they neither group knew the lyrics of the another one national anthem they once despised, they had a very low opinion about the other one. Whites were having low opinion about the blacks anthem, and blacks people were having the low opinion about the whites anthem. So they would soon know the words by heart. It was assumed by Mandela. On the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed with a sense of history. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth, the white-skinned peoples of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned peoples of their own land. So it was the time when Mandela was recollecting his memory about Anglo-Boer War. Anglo-Boer War, it was the second war, the second Boer Wars was fought between the British Empire and two independent Boer states, the South African Republic and the Orange Free State, over the empire's influence in South Africa. So it was a time when Mandela was recollecting all those memories, that how the white-skinned people of South Africa, they patched up the differences, and what they did, they erected a new system. They built a new system, assembled the system of racial domination against their own people, their dark-skinned people. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest, most inhumane societies the world has ever known. So Mandela was again now remembering that the system created by the white people for the blacks one, it was the most human, it was the most harshest system the world has ever known. And due to just this system, the black people suffered a lot. Now in the last decade of 20th century, so after a long time period and my own 8th decade as a man, even Mandela spent his whole life, and now at this moment he was 80, he was remembering that system had been overturned, it was changed for forever and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedoms of all peoples, regardless of the color of their skin. So Mandela, at that moment, he was so happy that finally, after decades, I really banished this system, and now I have launched, with the help of my people, a new system which was equal for everyone, and there was no discrimination, no segregation as per the base of their color and caste. That day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of my people, people whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. So Mandela, at that historical day, he was remembering his own friends whose sacrifices meant a lot. He remembered that the day was finally possible with the just due to the sacrifices of thousands of my people, people whose suffering and courage can never be counted, because that courage and that sacrifice was uncountable, and even it was unrepayable. He said, I felt that day, as I have on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. So, here, what is the meaning of Mandela? He was saying to himself that today I am able to stand up here as the South Africa's first black president. It was just possible due to the sacrifices of my people. So many people had sacrificed their life for the country, and just due to their sacrifices, I am here as a first black president. So I am the sum of all those African patriots who really gave their life for the country. That long and noble line ended and now began again with me. He said that so many people had gone now, they are not with me to celebrate this special moment, but still my country is full of courageous people. So again, that line is going to continue. I was pained that I was not able to thank them, and then that they were not able to see what their sacrifice had wrought. So he was remembering all those friends who gave their life for the sake of country, that he was remembering that I am here and I'm not able to thank, I'm not able to give thanks, pay my regards to all those people because they are no more. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. All of us will spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt. But the decades of oppression and brutality had another unintended effect, and that was that it produced the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sissulus, the Chief Luthulus, the Yusuf Dadus, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Sobuquets of our time. So Mandela, at that moment, when he finally celebrating that moment, that historical moment, he was remembering what happened, that they got the blessing in disguise, that due to the policy of apartheid, the people of South African, the black people of South African, they really suffered a lot. Generations went while fighting this policy of apartheid, and just due to this policy, they all got a deep wound on their hearts, and it would going to take years to remove, to heal that scars, that injuries, and that wounds. He said, if your generations recovering from that profound hurt, that the impact of that apartheid policy was so deep, so profound, so long lasting, that it would take generations to heal. But he was here looking at the blessing in disguise. He said that just due to that policy, just due to that oppression that we and my people faced, just due to that brutality that that has done there by the white people over us, what happened? It had created unintended effect. What exactly it was? Because it was not planned by the white people. They were not knowing that just due to our oppression, brave, and or we can say the bravest people will born to fight that brutality, to fight that oppression. People have showed enough courage, extraordinary courage, and he also gave names of the people who had shown a next level courage, like Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sissulus, the Chief Luthulus, the Yusuf Dadu, or the Bran Fishers. He said these all were the men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity. They were full of intelligence, they were full of insight, and they were full of wisdom, that their like may never be known again. That just they these kind of people, they were prepared due to the oppression, and these type of people, the such kind of people would never born again. Perhaps it requires such depth of oppression because they were born just due to that oppression, and that oppression is now end up, and just you know it's obvious that now that oppression was over, so side by side simultaneously that people of that courage would never born again, because it needs a height of oppression to create that kind of character. My country is rich in the minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil. He said that my country is rich in minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil. But I have always known that its greatest wealth is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. So, every country has its own minerals, and South African soil is full of minerals and gems that lies beneath its soil. But Mandela said that which one is the real wealth of a country? What is? What is it? He said that the people who are having wisdom, generosity, they are the greatest wealth of his country. They are like purest diamonds. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. Later, he said that just because of my colleagues, my fellow members, I learned the meaning of courage. I was not courageous. I was not having any kind of courage. Time and again, I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. Just due to time, I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking, showing a strength and resilience that defies the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fears. So he said that which one is the real wealth of a country? It's people. And he said, people who are able to do anything for the sake of the country. He said that I have seen men and women. He said that he watched, he had noticed that men and women they did everything for the country and they were not afraid of the attacks or the torture done by the white people on them. They showed a next level strength, extraordinary courage, generosity, wisdom, resilience to fight with the white people. And it was beyond my imagination that somebody is torturing you, somebody is giving pain to you, and still you are standing up to feel that pain again and again and number of times. He said, I learned from that all those people that courage was not absence of fear. You cannot say that am not feeling any kind of fear ever. I don't have feeling of fear. But the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid. If you are saying that I don't feel afraid from anything, I am a fearless man, so that will be wrong. He said, what is the real courage or real bravery? He said, he who conquers that fear. Everybody would feel courage or everybody would feel fear or afraid. So students, we all can feel fear. We all have such types of moments in our life when we were not able to show our strength or bravery and we really quitted at that moment. We really gave up. But it's not exactly shows our personality. It doesn't declare that you are a coward people or we are coward. Where exactly lies the exact or real courage we have to, if you are fighting with that feeling and if still you want to fight up with the situation and while facing that fear still you want to overcome conquer that trouble that pain, that is called real bravery. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, and they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. So Mandela said that no one is born with this kind of feeling that we have to hate this or we have to hate that people. It's just our own surrounding that teach us to hate people based on their caste, color, religion. We all are learning these kind of things just because of our surrounding. So people, and he said we have naturally love feeling inside our heart because nature is full of love. Nature doesn't teach us to hate people, and we are a part of nature. So we have this love feeling, or we have this feeling of love naturally inside. And later on, we have learnt this feeling to hate people. So if you can learn how to hate other people, you can automatically come back to the feeling of love. So he said, even in the grimmest times in prison, when my comrades and I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guards. Perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to reassure me and keep me going. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. So he said, when I was in the jail, and the jail people, the officers, they were torturing us always and always. It was their daily task. And at that moment, have noticed so many times that grimmest times, that time was so gloomy, it was so serious for everyone, it was so dark. My comrades and we were tortured to our limits. They were giving us every kind of torture every day. So at that moment when they were torturing us every day, I have noticed the glimmer of humanity even in the eyes of one of guards. Even they were they were feeling so bad for us while torturing to us. So that feeling which I have noticed in their eyes, that they were really very sorry for us. So it was that feeling was enough for me to reassure me. That feeling was always reassuring me to keep me going. That feeling was always pushing me. He said, man's goodness is a kind of flame that can be hidden but never and never extinguish. You can hide that flame, for instance, for a moment, but you cannot extinguish that flame. That flame is automatically reburnt again. So guys, here is our end of our session. Tomorrow we will again finish the rest part of this chapter. Till then, take care of yourself. Thanks a lot.